My name is Sergeant Chris Wolfenbarger, retired from the 1141st Sapper Company, Missouri National Guard. Served in Afghanistan 2009-10.
My name is Anthony Norris. I served in the Army for 7 years as psychological operations. I deployed to Iraq 2007, 2008, and then deployed to Afghanistan in 2010 and 2011.
My name is Curtis King. I'm retired military, did 20 years in the Army, 20 years, 1 month and 13 days to be exact. Who's counting?
My MOS, which is what the Army calls your job, is 68 Whiskey. I'm a medic.
I was a Special Forces Green Beret for 10 years and a Black Hawk helicopter pilot.
I rolled with a company, a platoon of sappers, which are combat engineers, and we went out on missions to hunt IEDs to clear routes to make travel safe for the people of Afghanistan.
I spent most of my time, the latter part of my career, flying. First 10 years I spent as a Green Beret, pretty much a medevac pilot though, with most of my flight time, and I retired about 4 or 5 years ago.
My job was to influence the target audience to comply with needs of the military and the government over there.
February 1st, 2001, had a helicopter crash. Was involved in a mid-air collision. A gentleman flying behind me took the corner a little too fast, a little too short, and ran his aircraft into mine. We spun out of control from about 300 feet, slammed the ground about 52 Gs, 13 on board, and fortunately no one on our aircraft was killed. The other aircraft wasn't quite so lucky.
July 23rd, 2010, in Afghanistan, I was on patrol to a local shura, a meeting between the locals, the government, and the military. As we were at the end of our patrol for that morning, 5 feet to my right, an IED went off. The entire right side of my body was peppered with shrapnel.
February 7th was the first time I got hit, because on February 12th we were back on that route, and they hit my vehicle with a suicide bomber. And the Taliban knew. He called in intel to us saying, hey, there's a bomb at this grid coordinate. We responded to that, and when we got to the grid coordinate, there was a single occupant in a vehicle, and several of my convoy's vehicles had driven by him, but I was in the vehicle called the Buffalo. It digs up IEDs. We rolled up next to him. I was saying, hey, you need to move. We're getting ready to dig it up. So I'm looking through the armored window when he looks me in the eyes and detonates the IED. In the vehicle, I received a major concussion, TBI. Our driver had a severe concussion. Our assistant, TC, was also concussed, and our TC had a major concussion and a hurt left leg. Hand of God saved the soldiers in my vehicle.
The IED that I was hit by was essentially a coffee can filled with 10 to 15 pounds of explosive. They packed ball bearings, nails, and any sort of metal they could get in it. It was angled to take off my legs, but they buried it just a little too deep. The whole right side of my body was hit with shrapnel, and the inside of my left. Most of the shrapnel fell out during the other 9 months, but I still had 2 pieces that stayed in my body. I had a piece about the size of a quarter stuck in my neck right here, and a piece in my elbow. It'd been in my body a year before I had it removed.
I had a compressed spine and a dislocated jaw. I was knocked unconscious during the crash, and as time went by, we realized that I had done some brain damage and had what many of you know is referred to TBI, traumatic brain injury.
I didn't know what had happened other than I felt a lot of pain, and so I was thinking to myself, what was that? And then it came to me that it was an IED. From that, I sustained a traumatic brain injury, a lot of physical issues, and PTSD, which I didn't realize that I had until I returned home 9 months later.
Living outdoors is more than just taking people on a hunt. Our statement is to minister first, to hunt second. A hunt doesn't heal things. It doesn't fix anything. You know, it might be a cool day, an awesome memory, but ultimately you didn't do anything to help the future of these guys that come back from more scarred. I've met all three of these guys before at Peterson Outdoors Ministries events. Once I met them, we clicked very well. Become really good friends with all of them, and I just really want to get them down and get to know them a little bit better. To be honest, this is the first time I've really heard all of their stories. At the events, I've filmed other people. I've talked to these guys, but I didn't know their background. I didn't know what happened, what got them to be wounded soldiers.
I was very blessed last year to get invited on a duck hunt with Living Loud Outdoors, and when I got there, I met the Hosers, Chris and his dad Buster, and you know, it was very obvious from the very beginning of our weekend that Christ was first in their lives.
We're all sad to have the weekend come to an end. I know we're all pretty tired, but it was an awesome weekend. We had a great time. We had a good hunt. Yeah, the second day didn't work out. The birds didn't do what we wanted to do, but we still had a good time freezing our tail off in that wind. But there's nothing we would change about it. We stayed up late talking, ate some great food. Brad brought a smoker up with savory, and my goodness, he brought a just pile of food. It was awesome. We chewed on that all weekend.
When we got out here, you know, I'd been texting Chris with Living Loud Outdoors, and I was asking him what we need to bring, you know, and kind of food and stuff like that. And he said, well, just bring anything you can't live without. We got out here, and there was pounds and pounds of meat, you know, that had just been smoked. We didn't have to bring ammo. Like, everything had been provided for us. All we brought was our hunting clothes and our gun. Living Loud Outdoors, just every time we come hunt with them, just surprise us with things. You know, they had little gifts on our pillows this time, you know, and it was a funny gift, but it was, you know, it meant a lot to us.
What has this weekend meant to me? For my amazing 4 hours of hunting, I know personally how much work went in to the event.
It is 12:52. 4 o'clock. We will be setting deeks. Yeah.
Live loud, hours. Scott, when you see the facility and what he's done to take warriors and children and get them into the field, the whole community down here. Calvin, heck, he wanted to get us on birds again this morning, so he spent the night here away from his children and his wife with us so that we could be in the field early. Thank you so much. Landowner, whoever you are yesterday, I haven't got a name yet, but your thank you will be in the mail. Wow.
The actual hunt itself was, we had a very successful day. Chris put a lot of work in, a lot of time driving around this countryside looking for the birds, looking for the geese, and we were very lucky the first day, very fortunate.
Yesterday was the single best day I've ever had in the field hunting anything ever. Period.
I've never seen so many birds. We look up and man, the sky is just filled with them.
We saw more birds over our head than I've probably ever seen in my life.
This was the best hunt by far. I mean, there was just thousands of birds.
Watch them down, guys. Watch them down.
I see that as God's creation, and it, you know, it's just all in all a good time. And now we, you know, get to go home with a cooler full of meat. So it was a pretty cool experience all in all.
Two guns went off there, didn't they?
Oh yeah, Curtis shot at it too. after it was gone. After you'd shot 3 times, I shot at it because I thought, well, heck, I'm going to try to hit
has
it.
to be the bigger person. A lot of people turn to drugs and alcohol. They want a sense of pleasure, a sense to take them out of the hurt, out of the pain. And that's what this hunt does. You know, not everybody's a hunter. Not everybody can duck hunt on their own, geese hunt. But by coming out here, you get that peace. You know, I met you guys last year on the Wounded Warrior Duck Hunt. I was at a bad point in my life. I'm tired of the medication, tired of the pain, and I'd lost that fight to go on. And that hunt instilled some of that fight back in me.
What happens on that first hunt was exactly what I wanted. I wanted a big group of birds to drop right in their face, loud, the noise. I mean, just that's what I wanted. But ultimately, I want them to go away with this better, and the next day better.
Buster, he's a role model for me in Christ. He is an inspiration to me. Scott shared his favorite passage with me yesterday, and I'll never forget it. He said, "Be still and know that I am the Lord." And he wanted to create a place where people that needed to heal could be still. Only 1% of our nation serves, and it's up to the other 99 to get those Americans back as far as we can get them back from war.
It wasn't so much about the hunt. It was about the friendship and the positive role model that you guys instill in us. You know, we're coming from a long way. We're lost still. You know, we still need, hey, this is the way that a believer is supposed to act, supposed to help others, you know, and that's what you guys do.
It was therapy for me, because here was a group of guys that were fellow Christians with me that wanted to take their time and take the talents that they had and share them with me, just because I'd went out and served for the country and got injured doing it. And that's a big undertaking. They're a Christ-centered, and I don't even want to say organization, they're Christ-centered people that have a job of sharing Christ and sharing their thanks for what soldiers have done and what they mean to them. I've got friends now that are lifelong friends. It wasn't just a weekend and then that was it. And for the last 2 months, that's all I've been waiting on, is just going hunting, just waiting to come back out here.
You know, it isn't just about the hunt. You know, when we're not hunting, we're all sitting in the cabin talking, you know, learning life lessons, sharing our story with people who actually care. And that really means a lot. So thank you.
And I have found God's grace. And I feel closer to it after this event with Living Light Outdoors.
They don't realize how much they heal us with their scars. What Living Light Outdoors is trying to do is apply God's word to our lives to the point where our lives are loud enough to affect those that are around us. A hunt's a hunt. The memories are great. You might have some good times. But without God in it, those scars ain't going to heal. It's guys like Brad and Calvin and Lemming, the landowners that let us hunt, to have people help support me and support these soldiers and understand and be in agreement with what I'm doing. I mean, it's the neatest thing to watch how things line up, you know. I mean, and it's the most humbling and amazing thing to see these guys smile and to see the look on their faces when they come up out of them blinds. And I can't even describe the feeling to know that something that God put inside of me, that I put into action, and to sit back and see it all happen in front of you is just the most amazing thing, you know.